Hey everybody. Am I really 2 minutes late? Oh, how unlike me. I've been so punctual throughout this pandemic thingy. Anyway, I'm Gary Lucas and I'm here from a safe house in Maastricht, Netherlands, which is a beautiful city, and enjoying my stay very much here. I've been working this week in the studio with a great young acoustic bass player, an award-winning jazz guy named Peter Willems, who's really a great pleasure to be working with. And we just played up in Eindhoven at the So What's Next festival. It was live streamed, so it was kind of weird playing in this void in a theater there, but I think it came out really well. I posted some links to it, and I think it's now being archived, so I'll repost them soon. But I did my Spanish Dracula live film score there Thursday, which they broadcast Saturday night on Halloween right after my little live stream Saturday performance. And then we played on Friday night, and it went out live. And a splendid time was had by all. But today is election day. I'm going to be glued to I don't have a TV here, but the computer to get updates all night. It's now 9 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in New York. And my friend Helene Adam just reminded me that we've gone into Eastern Standard Time as opposed to Eastern Daylight Time. I never really knew the difference, but it's election day. I can't play, it's too grim, but let's hope it's not the thief. It's not Hail to the Thief, and it's Hail to the Chief, Joe Biden, who I hope you all went out and voted for. I did an absentee ballot thing before I left, so I think it's very important that everybody get out there and vote. So if you haven't done that already and you're in the U.S., please kindly do so. You know, it's your patriotic duty. And anyway, well, let's just get right down to it. to get that spotlight thing happening. Okay, how's that? That's better, isn't it? Some more colorful. Well. R.L. Burnside was great euphemistic expressions. I had the privilege some years ago of playing a residency in Tokyo. Yes, this was hooked up by my friend Robert Singerman, and there was a club in Roppongi, and they were formerly a Russian restaurant called the Volga. And I think the restaurant had been constructed to cater to employees of the Russian embassy, which was located right across the street there in Roppongi. And I think there might have even been a secret passageway to this restaurant, but the restaurant failed. And so under new management of various Yakuza, they were trying to do a blues club, and they'd sent the programmer of the club to Chicago to go visit Checkerboard Lounge and some of the other Buddy Guy's Legends, whatever the hot blues clubs in Chicago were in the mid-90s. That guy went there to scout talent and see how they did it. And he came back, and so they definitely modernized their programming. And I came in there as a solo artist under the rubric 21st Century Blues. I mean, this was 95, so, okay, we weren't technically there into the millennium. So that got me over. And they had an apartment in which the band stayed a couple of blocks from this club. And right before I got there, they had R.L. Burnside and his band in there, or maybe two of them. Reduced ensemble, but I always loved his work, and I was really turned on to it because they played him a lot through the sound system. But anyway, all this is to say that I was very happy to get this 3-week residency, which paid moderately well, actually. But it was a trip to Japan, right? And anyway, I do recall that I was told under no uncertain terms to stick to playing the blues while I was there. And I think everything I do is tinged with the blue matter. I mean, my gray matter is tinged with blue matter. It's just the nature of my existence and upbringing as a Jewish person, I think. Don Van Vliet used to say, a lot of people think it's hip to have black people in their band, a lot of white musicians. I have Jews, man. They understand suffering. Anyway, that was one of the more colorful pronouncements of the great Don Van Vliet. But I digress. So I went in there with my panoply of effects. And if you know my work, not in the acoustic format, but pretty much electronic explorations on the guitar, you know, I have used a fair amount of effects, not really the arsenal some people would have. I mean, I'll tell you, my friend Doug Wimbish, who's in Living Color a lot, but also played with Mick Jagger and Tackhead, Adrian Sherwood's groups, and the Sugar Hill Gang. Doug had, the last time I saw him, two layers of effects. I mean, up on like a stepladder kind of a contraption. It was something to see. I never really approached that, but at one point I had about 24 boxes, some of them up on a table. It was a custom built rig. So I got, into the idea of playing this residency right away. And then one day I just kind of deviated from the norm and thought, I'm going to turn on the juice here with the effects and see what. And about 10 seconds later, the club manager, the guy that hired me, came over and he said, "You were hired to play the blues, and that is not blues." And I was like, well, it's like 21st century, no, you must play the blues. So another 10, I was chastised thoroughly. Another week or so went by. I was really getting into this club thing and had other other funny tales to recount, which I'm leaving for my memoirs. But I don't want to, some of them are really blue, and I don't want to blow my youth audience there by doing blue material. So I'll stick to the blues. Once, about 10 days after I received this notification verbally from the guy, I don't know what happened. Something came over me, the evil, William Burroughs would call it the evil spirit. I don't think it's evil, but let's say it's my playful spirit. Some might say demonic. I prefer to think it of a Dybbuk that sometimes wouldn't have me. And I just started to switch on the pedals again. And it actually coincided with the boss's girlfriend, right? The big boss's girlfriend, who was on her cell phone. She found this kind of noise to be a distraction. And so they sent the same guy out, and he said, "Okay, you were warned once. If you do this one more time, we're sending you back to New York." So it was like, okay, mea culpa, I'm sorry. And I was a good boy for the rest of my time there. I mean, I always strive to do that. It is in my nature. And but once in a while, I have a problem with authority of all kind. I'll just be frank with you. Pretty much, although, I aim to please. So anyway, that was my little story, and that's why I'm sometimes very happy to be stripped down to acoustic guitar, because you don't need electricity. You can really approximate a whole band, sometimes an orchestra, with just 6 strings and 10 fingers. The whole trick of it is, to me, it's an arena where there's nowhere to hide. Do you know what I mean? People can really sound very awesome. There was a German avant-garde guitarist, I won't name any names here, but early on in my career, I was compared to him, and then we shared some festival stages. And this guy was super competitive. I mean, I don't get it. Well, I do get it. I mean, the guitarists are basically gunslingers when you get right down to it. There's who's the fastest, who's got the biggest pistol, like that. And I think that's ridiculous, because music shouldn't be a competition like that. It should be done in the spirit of mutual respect and cooperation. But anyway, this guy was definitely gunning for me. So, I observed him play, and he had a Marshall amplifier and a Les Paul cranked up to 11. And, I guess, under the circumstances or the right inebriants, you would be impressed by it. But, I like to look beneath the surface of music to really see what makes it tick often. And it just seemed like a whole lot of sound and fury signifying nothing, to quote the Bard. But it reached the really absurd heights when, we were introduced formally, and we went to shake hands, and this guy was going to, squeeze my hand as hard as he could to show that he had a better grip on things, I guess, than me. But I have a very strong hand, and I squeezed right back, and it was kind of a Mexican standoff when you get right down to it. I don't think either of us were the winner. Maybe if we had done the arm wrestling contest, it would have had a more definitive outcome, but I gave as good as I got, let us say. But this is, this is just that testosterone-fueled white man's world. I had a very good article I posted the other day by Umair Haq. I really recommend reading this guy. He is a Pakistani refugee who grew up in America and now lives in London. I think he was a Harvard scholar. But to me, in my opinion, he is really about the best pundit, writing on the day-to-day meaning of all things going on around us. So check him out. But he had a really good analysis of U.S. vis-a-vis the election, it is basically, let's get right down to it, a white man's world in the U.S. And no matter how many minorities will vote on either the plus side of Biden or the minus side of Trump, it's really going to come down to the white population as far as what the election results go. And he pointed out that under the same mindset or genetic subset, all sorts of heinous things have been going on in the U.S. forever that would definitely be spotted as a negative trend if you looked at it analytically vis-a-vis healthcare, education, basic things one would think were God-given rights under a just and wealthy society as we enjoy in the U.S. But it's never really been that way. And it's basically every man, woman, and child for themselves and God against all, which is a sorry state of affairs, don't you think? I know. I do, but I'm here anyway. I have to just shut up and play the guitar. I'm just here to cheer you up a little bit. So far be it from me to go and naysay anymore. Very sorry news about what's going on in Wien. Vienna was the first city that I ever played in Europe, and that was as a lead guitarist in Leonard Bernstein's Mass. And I always love playing there, and I have to ring my remaining friends there to see how they're doing. But what terrible news came in last night, and on top of everything else. But yes, I'm a Marxist. I'm a Groucho Marxist, definitely. well, let's see now. I'll put in a little plug for, I brought a few CDs with me. I mailed one of them out to Emil Moore today. Emil should be winging its way to you right now. Emil covers the Scandinavian beat for various newspapers. Good man, Emil. Okay, this is Gary Lucas's Cine Fantastique, which is a collection of film music, some of my own, and some great film themes from classic world cinema that I like. The cover is very interesting, albeit it's backwards. But let's see, who do we got there? We have the Spanish Dracula, we have Klaus Kinski, Woody Allen, all the reprobates here. Fellini, notorious sexist. I love all these guys. Janet Leigh in Psycho, Peter Sellers, another miscreant, Alfred Hitchcock, a deviant. All of these people, folks, had very questionable backstories when you get and put them under a microscope, but it's like burning ants, isn't it, with a looking glass. You'd be surprised what makes people tick out there. And I have yet to meet, I'm still looking, as Bob Dylan once said, for a saint. Everyone's looking for a saint out there. I really don't know any. But maybe I'll encounter one day. Okay, well, that's about it. That should be about a half an hour for you. I don't have a clock on me, but I sense that it is time. And whatever happens with the election today, tonight, and tomorrow, I'll be here playing for you. And the next hit will be, let's see, what day are we at? Oh, yeah. I'll be playing on Thursday. and Saturday, and then Tuesday, and then I'm coming home a week from Wednesday. I hope they let me back in, but you'll hear about it. In the meantime, get out there and vote. Wear that mask. Vote for Biden. Don't be a chump. Okay, we love you guys. Take care, and see you on the flip-flop. Bye now.